Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It's episode 124 and today we are starting things off in the aquarium area because, well, I think it's safe to say that in yesterday's Redstone video, we kind of made this place look bad. Now that the new Snapshot has been released and we have all of the new ocean bits and bobs, I want them on Hermitcraft right now. I mean, this seagrass is absolutely amazing, and I hadn't realised, I was actually watching one of Iskal's videos, I hadn't realised that you can bone meal the floor underwater, and it will plant grass around, and you can make the grass longer. I mean, this place is awesome, and I do love this redstone build. Thank you ever so much for all the positive responses to this redstone build. It was so much fun to work on, doing the volcano, doing the little chest that opens up, all that sort of thing. I mean, it was honestly one of the funnest redstone projects I've worked on in a very, very long time, and I can't wait to take through some of this inspiration through onto the Hermitcraft server once the new update rolls out. Anyway, back into the boring version of Minecraft now, without the floating water and all of the cool fishes and everything like that. Today we are going to be working on the monument to Bumbo Cactoni, which is going to be going up in this area. We did a bunch of work on it in the previous episode of Hermitcraft. Oh no. Dear Mumbo, Lord and King of Bumbos, it has come to my attention that you're about to defile, horrify Bumbo Cactoni by building a monument of him using something as vile as... I do not even want to write its name. Beware, if you raise a monument of Bumbo of any kind using that block, there shall not be named. You will be forever banned from the world of Bumbos. What? Oh my, that's pretty serious. Also, I like your cave. Looks like you know you're terraforming. Must have had a great teacher. Oh man, well that seems like a bit of a threat. Maybe... Hang on, give me a second. No, I hate to say it, Iskal, but I think the diorite looks pretty good in this situation. Yeah, I think I'm going to use it. I can't think of any other blocks that I would maybe want to use. Maybe iron. Iron could have been a good one. But no, I quite like it. It gives like a slightly broken look. Okay, let's gather up some resources. First off, we need to do a 1-hour quartz mining session because this thing uses a ton of the stuff. So in today's super fast time-lapse chat, I want to talk to you about two different things. Number one is Chillblast. As you guys know, I work with Chillblast. We create my range of PCs, but also we've been working on peripherals. So we have created Mumbo Jumbo keyboards and also Mumbo Jumbo mouse mats. Both of them are fairly minimal in their branding because that's the way I like to keep things. I like things nice and simple. You guys have seen my channel branding. There's no crazy artwork going on there. It's just nice minimal logos and things, but it's an LED backlit keyboard. It uses the same mechanical switches as the Razer Black Widow series. They're the Kale switches, which are very, very good. And also it has full N key rollover, which means that you can press as many keys as you want on the keyboard and all of them will be detected no matter how many you press at the same time. The guys at Chillblast have been testing it extensively and it works well for all of the gamers that they have in that office. I've been using it myself and I personally really like it. And the same thing goes for the mouse mat. A lot of research and development went into the size of the mouse mat, how big they want the mouse mat to be, the materials and everything. It all looks good, it all sounds good, and I'm really happy with the products. You can find links to those down in the description. But then the next thing, which is totally unrelated, is that I have just found a podcast that I really, really, really like, and I want all of you to listen to it because some of these things are blowing my mind. It's called Radiolab. It's quite an old podcast. They've been doing it since 2009, but I've only just come across it, and it's just so interesting. I mean, their latest episode on Smarty Plants, talking about the fact that plants can hear things and they can detect water in pipes that are outside of their pots, and they have a form of memory. It's a bit crazy. It's completely blown my mind, so I would highly suggest checking it out if you're interested in that sort of thing. As I say, it's Radiolab. That was not sponsored, by the way. I'm a big fan. I've listened to them for probably about 12 hours today. So that is that. We have managed to get ourselves a whole ton of quartz. We've also got an ender chest that is pretty filled up as well, and a handful of shulker boxes. Now I just have to find my way home. How far out have I gone? I don't actually know where my base is. I can't remember where. I've forgotten the coordinates. Hopefully I've got a screenshot somewhere. Okay, the good news is I do know where I'm going. I have a very old screenshot taken on probably about week 1 of the Hermitcraft server that shows me where my nether portal is. The bad news is I have no clue how to get there. I seem to be getting stuck in lots of nether caves and I can't actually get to the place that I want to go. I should add that the thing that was stressing me out most there was the fact that I had a very limited supply of firework rockets. I don't have any in my ender chest anymore. This was all I had, so that was kind of scaring me. But anyway, we've managed to make it home, and these are all the resources that we have so far. So we've got the polished diorite, we've got the regular diorite, we've got the quartz. Now we just need to gather up some snow and also the white concrete, and then it's ready to build. You know, I'm kind of starting to think that maybe I might have gathered too many resources for this thing. Looking back, it's not that big of a structure, and I have about 10 stacks of quartz, I've got about 10 stacks of this white concrete, I've got tons upon tons of diorite. I mean, how big am I planning on building this thing? It's like Cub Fan's tooth all over again. I would say that looks pretty good to me. I mean, we probably have enough blocks to fill this entire room, but that should be just fine for creating this temple monument. So I'm going to open up the redstone testing world on another screen, and I'm going to try my best to copy this thing block for block. Then we can start work on the redstone, the interesting bit. Ow! That one hurt! Jeez, that was close. I got taken down to half heart. Oh man, he has wiped out a big area of the path there. Well, I mean, this is a good opportunity to do a bit of a progress update, I suppose. To say that this is what it looks like so far. It looks like nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's really difficult to tell that that's anything, so I'm going to keep building. Now that we've managed to recover ourselves a little bit, I think it's about time that we take a look at how this thing is. So I have done his full face and also his beard, and I have to say he kind of blends in, doesn't he? He blends in with the background, which could be seen as both a positive and a negative. He definitely needs some lights. I think behind his beard, I'm actually going to place in a handful of lights to see if we've got... Do we have any glowstone? We have some sea lanterns. That will do the trick. So I'm going to place in some of those just behind his mustache that will illuminate the top half of his face. But that's something that I hadn't really thought of, actually. We could use skylights. That could be an interesting way to do it, but then again, we're under the ocean. Okay, adding lights has definitely improved things. Oh, this thing looks so stupid. I'll be totally honest, guys. Now that I've built this thing, he's kind of not big enough. I think I'm gonna tear it down and I'm gonna build it bigger. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe make his head wider by a little bit. And make him just taller in general, so we can get away with moving this thing up probably another 4 blocks. Yeah, so we'll move him up about 4 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So then his hat will be just off the top of the ceiling. For the most part, this guy has been rebuilt and is considerably taller. He is missing a hat and his dimensions are different. And wow, he looks scary. I don't know if he looks like a Bumbo anymore, but he's definitely terrifying. But that's kind of good, in a way. Yeah, I quite like it. Obviously, he'll look better once we add in all of the grass around the bottom of him, and we start getting in the arms. Is that an improvement? I don't know. I think now that he has a hat, a beard, and also has some little bits of ground around the bottom of him, now he is looking like a cooler structure, and also I'm very glad that we made him bigger because he just wasn't big enough to fill in the space of this area. The room was massive and he was kind of being dwarfed by it. So this is good. This is really, really good. Right, now let's get the arms in. I don't know if I'm going to redesign those yet or not. His arm looks a little bit small now. I think he needs a little bit more forearm going on and maybe a slight extension as well. Yeah, that's a tiny little arm. And that, my friends, is that. Both arms are in place. Both of them have been made slightly bigger so that they look a lot better. And now we are going to see the finished Bumbo Oldoni for the first time. I still have no clue what we're going to be calling this thing, so I'm going to be reading through the comments a little bit later on. But here goes. I'm going to eat my final loaf of bread, and I'm going to travel off towards this staircase. He looks good. He looks really, really good. The proportions have actually ended up working out quite nicely. And that works. Oh, that works perfectly. Oh, that works brilliantly. That has gone well. I like it. I like it a lot. And I would say that the diorite looks quite cool. And I also like the way the lighting is going. I put some lights underneath his hat, so they kind of light up his eyes. And yeah, that looks... I mean, I can't complain there. That is perfect. That's just how I want it. I say about lighting, I think it's a little bit dark down by the bottom. But anyway, okay, I'm going to decorate these walls here, get rid of all this stuff, and make it look a tiny bit better. And then, as I say, time for all of the redstone. Unfortunately, we've run out of jungle leaves in the base, which means that I was unable to actually decorate the place. But I've just popped over to the NHO jungle once again to pick up all of these. And I have to say, jungle leaves are annoying because despite the size of the jungle tree, there isn't actually that many leaves on them. This is not good news. I logged out quickly just to go downstairs and get myself a drink, and the authentication servers are currently down for maintenance. I hope that doesn't last for very long. Finally, I've been able to get back onto the Hermitcraft server. If this episode is late, then blame Mojang on that one. But as you can see, our walls are now completed as well. And, oh my word, that has made such a massive difference. Doesn't that look great? Oh, that has made all the difference. The Temple of Bumbo is actually coming together. Oh, it's actually coming together. I still don't know if I want to do the roof or not. I'm still not 100% certain there. We've got creepers spawning in his mouth. That's something that we should... Oh, and creepers spawning down there. We should probably be wary of that one. But wow, that's worked. Okay, this is great. This is really, really good. Let's mine out the space behind him so that we have plenty of room for all of the redstone. I'm so excited for this. Now, this should hopefully do the trick. The redstone contraption isn't actually that big. I've tried my best to keep it nice and compact so that it fits within this guy's head. And this guy's head, the one that we've built, is actually bigger than the one that I've got in the redstone testing world, so we shouldn't really be struggling for space. The only thing is, it is quite a compact redstone contraption, and building compact redstone contraptions in survival mode is never a particularly fun experience. You're always just placing blocks on top of things and trying your best to squeeze into impossible places. But anyway, I'm now going to head off, grab my redstone shulker box, and try my best to gather some resources for this thing, because we are going to need quite a bit. To do this, we actually don't need that much. We've got 9 sticky pistons, 8 pistons, 34 redstone dust, 4 redstone torches, 15 repeaters, 14 comparators, 1 block of redstone, 3 hoppers, 4 droppers, and 2 water buckets, which I have got all of those things inside this little shulker box right here. I just went out and gathered them. So, let's get straight to it. Stage 1 has now been completed. We've got the redstone here, and then these 2 repeaters should do the pistons. And that is what is going to trigger the item shootout system. So the items will shoot out of there. I think the only thing that I need to do now is I just need to cover up these 2 droppers, and that should do the trick. So if we get a good random, if we trigger this thing and then we get on the good side of it, it likes us, then it will drop out the items and it will be pushed out through the mouth. So that circuit should now all be completed. Circuit number 2 should now be completed, which is going to be the double piston extenders, which control the tears flowing from the eyes. They don't seem to have worked, but I guess that's actually because I'm putting the input in the wrong place. Okay, so the input should be going here. Okay, there it is. And there we go. Right, that is very, very promising. I'm going to grab back my redstone torch, and then we just have to place in the randomizer that goes up at the top. That is not what I needed. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. I really did not want to look up then, because this is the final circuit of all of our redstone circuitry, and if that water had poured down, I was worried the entire time that it was going to break something, but if that had poured down on that redstone circuit, I would have had to start from the beginning, essentially. I do believe that is everything all done and dusted, all completed. So, if we give this thing its first tester, we should see something happening. That's good. That's what we wanted. So, we got a positive there. It dropped out the items, the mouth opened up, and then they got pushed outwards. Right, let's try it again. Let's see how the randomizer goes here. Are we going to get tears or are we going to get goodness? I mean, there's a 50-50 chance either way. And it looks like this time we got tears. And that has demonstrated that this thing is fully functional. It works. It works. First time. Very rarely do I build redstone contraptions that work first time. I'm actually a little bit in shock here. Okay, so now that that part is all done, what we have to do now is we have to create the offerings area. So what I want to do is I want to create an area. We really need to remove those sea lanterns, they're really ugly. But anyway, I want to create an area where we actually throw in the items. So it's going to be, I guess, like a little kind of pond, wishing well type thing that is going to be right in the center here. And that's where we're going to throw in maybe a specific item, maybe... What can we throw in? Should we throw in diorite? I feel like that would make Iskall happy. If we're throwing in diorite... And then that's the offering. Would that come off well, or would it come off badly if we're offering diorite to the gods? I don't know. Either way, I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to create this well here, and it's going to have water in the bottom, and then we're going to have hoppers underneath. It will pick up the items, and then they will transmit that signal off into this dude. Hopefully, this connects it all up. So we have got a redstone torch tower, and if I just remove all of this redstone torch tower, which is still intact, I thought I'd remove part of it there. This redstone torch tower runs all the way down here, all the way across and into these repeaters. I'm actually going to add a little bit of extra delay into these because we want a decent length of time to pass before he gives off his verdict. So I suppose we should give this a test. I mean, I'm going to cover up this area. I'm going to replace the block in his beard, or is that's meant to be grass there? Let's make sure that there's no room for the redstone to run down, or water to run down into the redstone. And let's just quickly double check everything. Oh, just as a heads up, I haven't made it so you can offer up anything to this guy. You can offer up absolutely anything, but if you get the positive option, then you are going to get diorite. Which I'm sure, once again, is really going to annoy Iskall. This entire thing is just designed to frustrate Iskall. Anyway, let's give it a tester. Here it goes. The item is being thrown in. I'm going to throw in a little bit of stone, and we should see eventually that this thing will kick in. Now, I am thinking we should add in some music notes. We should add in some music notes for various elements of this design. So maybe if you get the good thing, it will play like a good couple of notes, and then the bad thing could be a bad couple of notes. And then when you throw in the items, it should also give a note to say, hey, you know, I've accepted these items and I know what's going on. Maybe even like a heartbeat sound. Yeah, that sounds good. But this thing seems to be working, which is awesome. I'm trying my best to come up with something that sounds happy. I'm so unmusical. Is that in tune? I feel like that just sounds awful. Okay, let's start again. The little amount that I know about the piano is that notes that are one apart from one another are in tune. So you have like a note key, and then the one next to it isn't in tune with it, but the one that's one further away is in tune with it. Which means that you end up with a sound like that. Does that sound happy? I think that sounds okay. Okay, so that's what's going to play when you put an item in. Now we need to come up with sounds for good or bad. Right, that's it. That should be it. I've spent a bunch of time fiddling around with note blocks, trying my best to create happy emotions and sad emotions. To be honest, I am kind of struggling, but if we give this a go... That sounds good. I really like the way that sounds, and then we'll wait a little while. I might tone the weight down a little bit. But there are the tears. There was no note though. I failed. So I've made yet more changes to all of the notes and everything, and I thought I'd also add in a little bit of a heartbeat that kicks in when we actually activate this thing, so his heart will start beating, so you'll be able to tell that he's actually working on making a decision. And obviously I've changed up all of the repeater timings, so now I just need to grab myself a handful more note blocks, and that should finish this thing up again. And I must admit, those little details have made the world of difference. Check this thing out. So if we throw this in, it just sounds so cool. There we go. So we have got the sad note plays, and then he begins to cry. Let's try this again. Let's see if we can end this episode on a bit of a happy note. There we go. There we go. So we got a diorite being shot out through his mouth, and that's now been dropped out, and we can actually get up to the diorite by traveling up through his beard area. So there it is. Bumbo Cactoni, or whatever we're calling this thing, has now been constructed. The floor area has been constructed. All of the walls are now completed. We have the wishing well in the center. You know what that means? That means that this entire space is now fully completed. We have completed the Temple of Bumbo, and I have to say, I am chuffed to bits with it. I'm really, really happy with it. I'm happy that we decided to take on this project, because this was a really random, weird project that we decided to do, but it's ended up working out really, really nicely. And it's kind of becoming one of my favorite areas of the base, just because it's so different from all of the other spaces that we have. There's no prismarine in here. There's absolutely none, which is a huge positive in my books, because I've been using prismarine a lot in Hermitcraft Season 5. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and standard filming channel stuff. You guys know what to do. Link on the end screen.